Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Anomaly Anthology. My name is John Coleman. Let's be real for a second. The ocean is a pretty scary place. I mean, she's beautiful to look at, she's beautiful to explore, but if we're being honest, she has some weird looking fauna swimming through her depths. And it only gets worse the deeper you go. It begs the question, what haven't we seen yet? I mean, to think only fairly recently we discovered the existence of the giant squid. To me, that's a bit of a fascinating but frightening thought. What makes that thought even worse is thinking that 95% of the ocean is still unexplored. What haven't we seen yet? What more is there? How much bigger can you get than the giant squid? How much bigger can you get than the blue whale? Well, I'm here to present you with Anomaly that may just be bigger than both of those. Let me present to you the bloop. Well, I don't have a picture of the bloop right now because it hasn't been reported being seen, at least from what I've heard, but it has been heard. Before I give you the sample of the sound clip, let me give you a brief history lesson. The sound in question was heard in 1977 by the NOAA's Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory. The sound was recorded by the NOAA's Equatorial Pacific Marine Autonomous Hydrophone Array, which is an absolute mouthful of words. If you don't understand what I just said, it's completely understandable. It's basically saying that the Equatorial Pacific Marine Autonomous Hydrophone Array are a bunch of microphones, deep sea microphones, that are placed somewhere around the tip of South America and somewhere around the north of Antarctica. They're used to record migration patterns, seismic movements, iceberg movements, and things like that by the NOAA. Now, while they're recording for the deep sea microphones, they heard a sound that was so jarring they couldn't believe it the first time they heard it. I'm going to play you a little sound clip of it. Now, that may not sound like much to some of us who don't typically listen to deep sea sounds, but I assure you, if you have prior experience and you know what to compare it to, then it's actually quite jarring. In fact, let me present to you some iceberg sounds that were recorded by the same kind of microphones that recorded the bloops. Now, biologically, with how loud that sound was, it would seem to indicate that if it was created by an animal, then that animal would be several times larger than the blue whale, which is the world's largest aquatic and just regular animal, period. Skeptics and critics alike will tell you that the sound was merely an iceberg, it was a seismic movement, some kind of natural occurrence. However, people like me will tell you that that is simply not the case. Comparing the frequency of, let's say, an iceberg scraping across the ocean floor and the frequency of an animal, comparing the two, the bloop sounds far more like an animal. It sounds biological. The frequency of it matches the kind of sound that an animal would make. Now, it's worth mentioning that shortly after the original incident in 1978, the NOAA came forward and tried to dismiss the claims that the bloop was any kind of animal, and they were trying to say that it was nothing. It was nothing at all. And they presented this with documentation and facts that were provided to them by the Busybody Corporation. Even if you don't listen to PSAs that often or watch PSAs that often as you do, you and any person on the face of the planet with any sense of awareness or cognizance would be able to look at this PSA and be able to say that that is a load of hot garbage. The Busybody Corporation, as everybody knows, is exclusively North American. Every single piece of merchandise that they sell constantly states we are North American made and we are North American produced and we only sell in North America. There is no documentation or files that state that they are anywhere near South America or off the tip of South America, let alone in North Antarctica. Now, I'm not much of a conspiracy guy myself, but if you ask me, that sounds kind of like a cover-up. But I digress. That's a theory for another time. Now, it is at this point when I would usually present you with some theories that I thought of myself as to what the bloop could be. However, considering the anomaly at hand, I believe it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, it has to be some sort of terrestrial creature. If it was an alien, then I don't think it would be making that kind of noise or be anywhere in the middle of the ocean. If it was some kind of aquatic alien, how did it get to Earth to begin with? Did an alien just take a spaceship and bring it to Earth and drop a massive creature in the middle of the ocean and leave? Maybe. Maybe not. It's a little bit unfeasible. You could say that it is some sort of trans-dimensional entity. However, if it is, we would notice if a portal that massive in the rip of the space-time continuum would open. We would automatically notice that. Now, whether you're a critic or you're a believer of the bloop, I think we all can admit that it's a pretty frightening idea. Especially if you're out, let's say, in the Pacific Ocean and you're just boating along and you're going along, and then, wham! Out the middle of the ocean, a massive creature comes up and swallows you whole. It's pretty freaking terrifying. But it's an interesting idea. But hey, thank you all again for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and remember to leave a comment to tell me what you thought about the video. Now, you can also tell me if maybe you want me to cover some kind of anomaly that you know about in the future, or maybe you can tell me about something that you saw in your backyard that wasn't quite right. Thank you all again for watching.